Episode 73. Good old Ted Wragg. During the time I was inspector, obviously I went to many of the conferences, which just an excuse for long drinking deep into the night and lots of useless banter. But one year we had a visit from the great Ted Wragg. Used to be a really regular writer in the Times Literary Supplement, Times Educational Supplement, And he tells this story, and I think he's got a very good point. He said this group of inspectors went into a school and they had 3 teachers of this particular year group of 7, 8-year-olds. And he said, this is the task. You have 1 hour to prepare the lesson. You have 1 hour to give the lesson. And having given it, you have got 1 hour to assess it, and we will assess it with you. So, he said you can do exactly what you like, your usual way of teaching. Don't change anything, because we're here. So, the first teacher went out, did the most natural thing, said, well, they need information. So he set out the books, put the books out with a particular chapter to be studied and the drawings. And it was all ready when the children came in, diagrams on the wall. Nice job. And so they opened up page 61 and they read it together, and then they drew the insects and the various parts and so forth. Very standard lesson. The second teacher, very different. He went outside, picked up all kinds of grubs and weed things and anything he could find that was living in the thick grass around the playground. And he brought these in, and the children went out and found some more with him, and they came back in and they studied them from the wild, as it were, and then they did drawings in their books and were really very experiential. The third teacher sat for most of the hour in the staff room smoking a cigarette, as one could do in those days, and eventually he got up when he finished his umpteenth cup of coffee and went back, assembled to his class, and he said to his class, I've got a question for you. Is a bird an insect? Is a bird an insect? Talk among yourselves in your groups. See what you come to. So they talked. Of course, birds lay eggs, but insects also, yes, insects lay eggs. Well, birds have a nest. Well, insects can have a nest. Birds are bigger than insects. Well, that could be so. In most cases, in generally so. That's one difference. Anyway, when they finished their brainstorming, they did what they normally do at that time. That is, go to the library, which is the book set out of all different subjects in the classroom, pick up a book and actually find the answer. So they wrote down what they knew, what they didn't know, they find out and checked and so forth. And they brought all their work together and presented it. At the end of the hour, the results were quite amazing. The conventional teacher and the experiential teacher, the children learned as much as each other. So there was no difference between a conventional approach and an experiential approach. But the children that have been led by the question, is the birds and insects, knew 3 times more than the other 2 groups. 3 times more by asking the question. That's a thought to ponder. Answers make us clever. Questions make us human and more than human. Blessings on you and those you love. Patrick.